All right, get in. We're going. Here's coffee. All right, here we are. So this is the property that we bought on the hidden housing market. It's an off-market property. That means it was never listed on the MLS, wasn't on Zillow, wasn't anything like that. That's where we have gotten all of our houses except for a personal house. But every house we bought since then has been off-market. And today we're going to talk about the easiest way to get an off-market house. And that is through a wholesaler. But first, I want to show you this property. It is gorgeous. This is why I bought it. So it is 1 acre. If I were renting in the city, in town, if I was in an apartment, in a house, whatever, this is what I would want. We're out in the country. We're actually within walking distance to my house. It's a great spot. It's 1 acre, but just like our house, which is 5 acres, it feels a lot bigger because it is surrounded by farmland. So you have no neighbors. Hopefully you've already checked out my other video about doing your research. So that's something you do like every single day. You're going to check up on the properties that are available on market in your area or the area that you're looking for. Okay, and I have a video that I'll put a link to right up here. I do that every single day. It allows me to keep watch on trends to know how much properties are going for. I will tell you right now. So we just came out of a very hot real estate market where everything was just going for over asking. That has turned. It has turned, at least where we are, and it's falling. I now see properties that are sitting on the market for a little bit longer. I see properties that are dropping their asking price. That is just something to keep in mind. Whether the housing market is super hot or even if there's a housing crash, either way, off-market property is still there. And the easiest way to get access to all the off-market properties on the hidden housing market is by using one of the hidden housing market real estate agents. Now, I'm going to use this in parentheses because they did not take any tests. They're not licensed by anyone. These are just people who have taken it upon themselves to find properties that are off-market that are going to be sold. Okay? We call these people wholesalers. If you've ever gotten a phone call or a text or a postcard in the mail that says like, I want to buy your house for cash. My name is Bob. Okay, that's a wholesaler. His name probably isn't Bob. And he does not actually want to buy your house for cash, but he wants to link you up indirectly with someone who does want to buy your house for cash. And the way it works is kind of like this. Wow, Mrs. Chicken, this is a beautiful home you have here. Have you ever considered selling it? Why, yes, for the right price. What if I were to offer you $100? Wow, $100? Yeah, that sounds good. All right, let's get that just signed up here. If I could just get you to sign this paper right here. Thank you, Mrs. Chicken. Excellent. Now that I have this signed contract for this lovely chicken coop, I can go and sell my contract to someone else. That looks like this. Can I buy this chicken coop? Is this your chicken coop? Well, I haven't bought it yet, but I'm about to buy it. In fact, I have a signed contract right here. But I'd be willing to sell my contract to you if you want to buy it. Oh yeah? How much would that be? The coop itself I bought for $100 on here. I'll sell you the rights to buy it for 25 bucks. So you'd be all in at 125. How does that sound for you? Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. All right, well, let's just do the transaction. Except the only difference between that scenario and what actually happens is they are not going to tell you what they got the house under contract for. They're not going to tell you that price. So instead they just be like, hey, do you want to buy this house for $200,000? And you just have to know whether or not that's a good price for you. Maybe they only have the house under contract for $100,000, in which case they're going to make $100,000 just by having that contract. You can't let that trip you up. You can't let that bother you. You need to know exactly what you're willing to pay for the property or house that they're going to give to you, and also know that a lot of them do put a lot of padding in there. So just because a house is off market does not make it a good deal. So how do wholesalers get these properties? They have a lot of different ways. One of them is they target lists. A popular list would be out-of-state owners. So someone who owns a piece of property here in Kentucky but actually lives in Florida, and they say, those people probably don't even want to take care of that property anymore. They just want to live in Florida and be happy. I bet I can get them to sell me this property. That's a great list that they target. There are a bunch of other lists that they target. They also target the pre-foreclosure list. They target certain, like if your house is paid off and you're over a certain age, like all these different things they will target. They will also do driving for dollars, which is literally where you drive around and look for houses that look run down and crappy, like someone is not taking care of them and they might want to sell it. The good thing is that you could do all that too. You could go and look for those properties as well. It is a lot of work. So wholesalers do play a part. They do work. They do work in getting these houses and then presenting them to you. The good thing is that you don't have to do any of that work. The bad thing is that they're going to get paid for it. I don't know why this tire is here. This just seems odd. It's just like one tire sitting here. You know what? Oh, I know what. Wow. Okay. So I could ramble on all day about this subject, but I am not going to. I will tell you that a few things to watch out for with a wholesaler. At least usually you will be able to look at the house, which is great. The bad thing is that the wholesalers don't actually know or necessarily care about the condition of a house. So they're not like trying to sell you a perfect house. Okay, I'm trying to stay out of the wind. It is so windy. So we'll just be on the front porch right now. At least it has a nice background. As with any off-market property, nobody's going to vouch for the soundness of the house. You have to really know what you're looking at. And a lot of times wholesalers, because they're just people who have taken the initiative to go out and find these houses, they might not even know anything about construction of houses. They might not know how to price a house correctly. They're just throwing numbers out there. So it is really important that you know what you're willing to pay for a piece of property and what the property's worth and how much work it's going to require, if any, to get it to where you want it to be. I say all that because I don't want you to like be taken by wholesalers. Okay, so you do have to be savvy when dealing with wholesalers, but you can definitely get houses. So the first 3 houses that we bought were from wholesalers, and they turned out great. So where are we gonna find these wholesalers? Honestly, your best bet is Facebook. Go on Facebook, okay, and you're gonna go find groups in your area. Type in you could type in things like real estate investing and then your city or whatever target area you're looking for. RE investing, real estate, name of your town, something like that. And you'll start getting these groups popping up. They will all be in there. A lot of times you'll see houses that are listed. Just take a look I would definitely recommend for the first long while that you just look. Don't get crazy, just look and watch, and you'll start to get a feel for what's going on in the group, if things are overpriced, what sort of houses and properties they're putting up there. You'll get a feel for it all. So just go watch, look at the posts. And then also they'll put if you want to be on my list, give me your email. Go ahead and give them your email. Eventually you'll get to the point where it's every single day in your email box, you'll have houses, properties just sent to you. You'll get texts. Soon it'll just be coming to you. So you don't actually have to do any work except for looking then at the property and deciding what it's worth. So at that point in time, you're doing the same thing with these houses as you did with the ones that were on the MLS that you're checking out every single day, and you're looking at the prices and locations and following trends. And if you see something that catches your eye, you can go look at it. That's my tip for you. Also know this is giving you the inside track to the investment real estate side of things. So generally these transactions are done in cash. That doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have the cash, but it does mean that you can't be high maintenance. No wholesaler is going to sell you a house if you bring a real estate agent and a list of demands. There's no demands. These are as-is properties. This is the way it is. The only things you might be able to demand are hey, one time we bought a property and our one stipulation was the person who lives in this house who was leaving, yeah, we know you say that they're going to be leaving. They need to not be there before we take possession of the house, because once these wholesalers give you the house, it is your responsibility. So just keep that in mind. There's so many real estate investing off-market horror stories but by the same token, there are a lot of really good stories too. And the more options you have available, the more likely you are to find the property of your dreams. That's what I believe, and for a price that you're willing to pay. So that's your homework for today. Get on Facebook, go look up some groups, real estate, search for like real estate investment, off-market properties, and the name of your city or town that you're looking in. Start signing up to receive emails of properties from wholesalers and start looking at the properties that these wholesalers have. That is what your homework is today. Go do it. It's really exciting and fun, totally fun. So that is what I have for you today. And maybe we'll go look at some other properties on here that could be fun, like do an actual go look at properties or possibly do an auction, something like that. So we'll see what I feel like doing. All right. Thanks for coming by. Drink your coffee. Going back home.